Welcome to Home Library Book Review Children Series, where we select a book right from the shelf and explain its content through easy to understand text, graphics, example, and animation, along with discussion with family members. Today, I'm joined with my son Arnav to review Roald Dahl's Charlie and the Great Class Elevator.
Hey everyone! It is a sequel to Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. It is intended for the age group of 7 years plus. This book portrays a series of amazing adventures. In case you've missed to watch Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the link is in the description below. Let's begin with the main characters of this story, Charlie Bucket and Willy Wonka.
Thank you, Arnav. The last time Charlie was riding high above his hometown in the Great Class lift. The passengers in the lift, along with Mr. Willy Wonka, were Charlie's parents, Mr. and Mrs. Bucket, his paternal grandparents, Grandpa Joe and Grandma Josephine, his maternal grandparents, Grandpa George and Grandma Georgina. The sky was brilliant blue. Everybody was excited at the thought of going to live in the famous chocolate factory. What in the world keeps this crazy lift up in the air? Mr. Wonka replied, "Lifts only go up and down inside building. This has taken us up in the sky, and it has an elevator, the great glass elevator. And sky hooks keep it up in the sky." Mr. Wonka pressed the brown button and the elevator shuddered, and then a fearful whooshing noise it clutched hold of everybody else. And as the great machine gathered speed, the rushing whooshing sound of the wind outside grew louder and louder. Higher and higher rushed the great glass elevator until soon they could see the countries and oceans of the earth spread out below them like a map. It was all very beautiful. And then Mr. Wonka said, "We have gone into orbit."
Mom, what is an orbit?
An orbit is a curved path taken by a planet or another object as it moves around another planet, star, moon, etc. Mr. Wonka's great class elevator was not the only thing orbiting the Earth at that particular time. 2 days before, the United States of America had successfully launched its first space hotel, a gigantic sausage-shaped capsule no less than 1,000 feet long. It was called Space Hotel USA, and it was the marvel of the space. It had inside it a tennis court, a swimming pool, and across the world, millions and millions of people were clustered around their TV screens, watching tensely as the glass lift fired its booster rockets to enter into the space hotel. So once the docking had been achieved, Mr. Wonka, Charlie, Grandpa Joe, and Mr. and Mrs. Bucket were able to walk out of the great glass elevator into the lobby of the hotel. Mr. Wonka warned them. Every word they uttered would be picked up by space control in Houston, so they better be careful. Suddenly, a tremendous booming voice came out of loudspeaker. Attention, the 8 foreign astronauts. This is space control in Houston, Texas. You are trespassing an American property. You are ordered to identify yourselves immediately. Arnav, now you tell us more.
Okay, Mom. Everyone on the spaceship and people watching television thought they are from Mars. All of them had to face the vermicious nids, who are egg-shaped space creatures and can turn itself into any shape it wants. To escape, they went back to the glass door elevator and began their journey back to Earth. The doors of the elevator opened, and Charlie found himself looking out once again at a great chocolate factory. Charlie and his family were excited to see Oompa Loompas too.
That's great. Finally, they were back on Earth. Mr. Wonka offered Wonka White to Charlie's grandparents to make them younger by 20 years. Grandma Josephine, Grandpa George, and Grandma Georgina gulped down 4 pills each. And they started to get younger and younger. And suddenly, Mr. Wonka walked in to see all 3 of them in middle of huge bed, bawling their head off. Since each pill made them 20 years younger, they all became 4 times younger. Grandma Georgina was 78 years, and since she took 4 pills, she became -2 and vanished. Mr. Wonka took Charlie along in the great class elevator to find her at Minus Land. They went deep inside the earth to find her being transparent, no more than a shadow. Mr. Wonka took out a spray gun and aimed at Grandma, and she disappeared. Where is she? Asked Charlie. Back where she came from, at the factory, replied Mr. Wonka. I gave her a dose of Vita Wonk. It only takes 4 drops to turn a young woman to old woman. But I think I gave her an overdose, said Willy Wonka. They returned back to the factory and went inside the room to see Grandma Georgina lying on the bed with masses of creases and wrinkles. Now, Mr. Wonka needs to know her exact age to give her exact quantity of Wonka White to make her younger. After a lot of calculations, 14 pills of Wonka White was required. It will take her 4 minutes 40 seconds to be back to her actual age, said Mr. Wonka. And there she was, same grumbling old Grandma Georgina that Charlie had known. And now they had to get balanced 2 babies to their exact age with Vita Wonk. Both Charlie and Mr. Wonka gave a spoon to both the babies, and it was like an explosion to see them turn into an old woman from a small baby.
I hope you enjoyed this story. Please click the link in the description below. Buy the book. Visit our website to know more about us. Thank you for watching our video. Please like and subscribe. Also press on the bell notification button for more videos like these. Until next time, take care and bye.